London would be a land of milk and honey if only we had a Labour government?
Well, let's do the various points raised by the member. Firstly, a lot of the problems we have as a city and as a country is because of the hard Brexit, which he campaigned for so proudly and so happily. Secondly, I'll give him some examples of the benefits we've obtained since the government changed last July. In the previous year, the amount of capital money we received from the government for TfL capital money was £250 million. That was double in the first year of this government, and we've now got a multi-year deal for the first time in more than 10 years, which is north of £2 billion. We've also had the great news, not just in terms of the DLR extension, but further support from TfL, and there'll be more announcement over the course of the next couple of weeks, I would hope. In relation to policing, really important, we've had the biggest increase in national international capital cities grant from a central government in more than 10 years, an increase of more than 30%. To the tune of £63 million towards the Metropolitan Police Service. We've had £11.7 billion from the government for affordable and social housing over the course of the next 10 years, and a further injection of £322 million towards a City Hall Development Investment Fund. Sadly, no money coming from the previous government in year. He wants examples of wins from the government, yet he's cutting me short. What is he scared of hearing?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If we can come back specifically, I mean, we knew about Brexit. You mentioned Brexit. We knew about Brexit a long time before last year's election. So I don't see why that's a relevant consideration in what's happened since, which is the disastrous record of Labour's first budget. Tax hikes on businesses and jobs, unemployment up every month since then, and Lord knows what damage the second budget will do next week. But coming specifically back to London and looking for savings next year, and I think it would be nice if we could work collegiately. You may remember that last year I tried to table a budget amendment. Obviously, it wasn't a group then, couldn't get a seconder. I asked if you'd encourage anyone to help, and you famously said that you would never encourage anyone to work with reform. Now that we are London's fastest growing political movement, would you like to reconsider that advice?
Well, I think I had some disagreement from the progressive wing of the Can I congratulate him? He's had a 100% increase in which is a metaphor for what's happening amongst voters, I suspect, across London. But look, I think what's really important is to just go back to what I said in my opening about the ability of parties to work cross-party, which was demonstrated on Monday in the anniversary, the 25th anniversary. I mean, now he has got somebody to second his motion. If it's passed, of course, I'll be more than happy to look at any motion that's passed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Assembly Member Garrett.
Morning. So when you're has my microphone gone funny? Is that better?
I think.
Yeah. When you're thinking about what savings you might be looking to make in your budget next year, one of the things I would urge you not to consider would be some scheme of compensation for private hire vehicle drivers who have been extremely badly treated. I'm sure you're aware that this has been going on now for maybe a year, where TfL introduced a scheme where private hire drivers, or minicab drivers, have to be not only licensed, obviously, as a driver, but to be able to drive as a minicab driver. TfL introduced this system, and with a renewal process, which is a perfectly reasonable thing to want to do to make sure they're fit and proper people to do that important job, but then completely let those people down by failing to renew. There's an enormous backlog. I mean, even the most recent update we had was 2 days ago. There's still over 400 people whose license to drive a PHV vehicle has expired, and it's just sitting with TfL to process. And this is putting people in a position of almost destitution, because they're still on the hook to pay for the leasing costs and all the fixed costs of having the car, which they are then not legally allowed to use entirely because of TfL. What I would urge you to consider when you're looking at the pressures on your budget is that there should be, this year or next year, some form of compensation for those drivers who've been extremely badly treated by TfL through no fault of their own.
Well, Chair, I'm not sure if there's a word he said I disagree with in terms of the importance of using public money sensibly, but also recognising the wrong done to these individuals and, by extension, their families through no fault of their own. And as he said, for the best of intentions, TfL sought to change the system, plus there was a cyber attack. But he's right, drivers are being let down, so I can give him that reassurance. And can I, again, thank the way he said what he said, both substance and the way he said it.
give me the reassurance that there will be a compensation scheme for those drivers?
I beg your pardon, sorry. I can give you that reassurance. I think I've given the assurance in the past, and I've got a detailed answer which I'll send him in writing because of time reasons because he's got a question later on about the steps TfL have taken and what they will seek to do in relation to addressing the compensation which some PHV drivers deserve for the reasons he set out.
So is there a timeline on when we might see that compensation?
I would hope by the end of this year we'll be able to set out the details. The priority I've said to TfL is sort the licences out in the backlog, so it's the same human beings that have been involved in the compensation. He'll appreciate that probably more value in the short term. The focus is that, and so once we think we're in a better position with that, I think it's a 10-day turnaround now, I can give him the guarantee that those same officers will look into a compensation scheme to address the points he's made.
By the end of this year?
I'd hope so.
Great, thank you very much. Thanks, Chair.
Assembly Member Georgiou.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor. I hope you're well, and apologise for my voice. I always get overly excited when I see you, and my voice does all sorts of things when I'm near you. But Mr. Mayor, talking of budget savings, for the last 9 years, all you've done is moan and whine and say that it's always someone else's fault for the things that you have to do. But possibly one of the budget savings you could have made was the cost of your Africa trip, which cost the taxpayer £83,000. You took an entourage of 11 staff to South Africa alone. Can you explain, by the way, this was on business class, so good for you. I hope they took care of you on the flight. Can you explain why such a large team was essential, or does streamlining only ever apply to everyone else's footprint but yours?
Chairs, you'll be aware there's a question on this later on, which I'm happy to respond to now. I was proud to visit Africa earlier this year, the first Mayor of London to lead a trade mission to that important continent. It's the role of the Mayor of London to champion the capital as an exceptional place to live, work, study and invest in. The purpose of the visit was to promote London, support growth, generate new trade and investment opportunities and deepen our cultural links with some of the fastest growing cities in the world. To maximise the impact of this visit, our growth agency, London and Partners, hosted a trade delegation of 25 London-based companies through the Grow London Global Programme, helping businesses expand and access opportunities in African markets. In 2024, trade between the UK and Africa was worth £50 billion, with UK exports up 7% year-on-year, making the UK and London in particular one of Africa's most significant trading
Mr. Chairman,
partners.
what does this have to do with budget savings? I was asking about budget savings. He's responding to my written question.
I think if you let the Mayor finish, you might get an answer.
Well, might not. Yeah.
Well, let's let
What does
the
this
Mayor
have to do
finish.
with the question, which is about budget savings?
Well, you're building up to it, Mr. Mayor.
I'm really surprised the member doesn't realise that if businesses are successful and thrive, they pay more in taxes, including business rates, which means more money for our budget. I'm happy to organise a.
Well, there we
sort of
go.
another course on how economies work
That
for
was
the
a response
member.
related to the question, Mr. Mayor. Thank you so much. So then I do wonder, given that's your thinking, how useless must be the Foreign Secretary and the International Development Secretary, or whoever it is these days. I mean, they're turning around so fast I can't tell, that they have to send you instead.
I think the fact that when there was previous foreign secretaries, the previous mayor went on double the visits I've been on. I think he went on 37 foreign trips in 8 years. He explains both the previous mayor. By the way, I don't get up to what he got up to when he goes on foreign trips. I hasten.
Well, we could be here all day if we're going down what the old blonde bombshell used to do. But Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor.
Chair, no, his voice changed. There.
Only because I'm near you. How many times do we have to go through this, Mr. Mayor? So, look, I would say, Mr. Mayor, why did you have to go business class? Why did taxpayers have to fund your lavish trips in that way? Can't you fly with the rest of us normally?
Chair, a number of the legs of that trip were economy class.
Did you fly business class, yes or no?
One of the legs was business class, I think, Chair. I'm trying to find out. Trying to get the table. I'm more than happy to send it to you. Let me find it now. 1 second.
Well, look, I'll leave it there, Mr. Mayor. Thank you so much, and I'll try and improve my voice for my next question. Thank you so much.
Economy. I can list out the economy flights if he wants me to. Okay.
Assembly Member Baker.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to briefly